Hublot is one of the best watches you can purchase in the secondary market, meaning not from a retailer. Now, I know this is the watch that everybody loves to hate. However, let me make my case why Hublot is one of the best watches out there that you can purchase in the secondary market. And before we go any further, go ahead and click the link below to sign up for our newsletter and 10 free tips on what you should look for when buying a watch online. Now, Hublot began in 1980 and they started with the tagline Art of Fusion. That led to a lot of purists not liking the watch just because it was what it was. They didn't follow the norm of what a watch company should be. They combined unique materials, they combined unique colors. This didn't make a lot of people happy, but it did get attention. This was actually, when it first came out, known as the Watch of the Royals. A lot of the European royalty found the watch very interesting and they started wearing it as a result. In fact, the King of Monaco actually wore the watch and was one of their first big name brand people that liked their watches. Hublot is now owned by LVMH. This is one of the largest watch conglomerates in the world. So, do you think Hublot's going somewhere? I don't think so. They're gonna be around a long time because they hold a unique place in the LVMH portfolio. They are right there along with brands like Cartier, Panerai, IWC. Those are very notable brands. So when you look at where Hublot's place is in the watch market, they are exactly who they say they are. They're a fusion of art, and I believe that they do it better than anybody. For example, the watch I'm wearing, the Hublot Italiana. This is a cool watch. The colors pop. Everyone asks me about this watch when I wear it. So when you look at that, you think, okay, well, what has Hublot done? Well, they were the very first to put a rubber strap on a watch. That was unheard of when they did it. They did some very innovative things. In fact, they put a very potent vanilla extract, of all things, into their watch bands to keep them from stinking and to make the material work while combining it with a metal. They were the first to do that. They have been on the cutting edge since day one, and they continue to be on the cutting edge. They have things now like the Takahashi, I'm not sure I'm even saying that right, Rainbow, which is one of the coolest watches you'll ever see. It literally looks like a flower, but it's a watch. It's beautiful. Now, let's talk about what everybody says they hate about Hublot. And one of the biggest things I hear is that the movement is garbage, it doesn't work, the watch stops working all the time. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. In fact, I had a long conversation with probably one of the largest secondary market watch resellers in the country, and he told me for a fact, he's kept the records, he looked at them, Hublot's go to service less than half as much as all the other watches that he sells. And he sells everything. He sells Hublot, he sells IWC, he sells Panerai, he sells Omega, he sells all those watch brands, and he says Hublot's go to get service about half as much. That's why it's his favorite brand. So when you look at that, that's real life data. Not somebody's opinion, not some stuffy British guy's opinion on why the Hublot watch sucks. Now, let me tell you some other reasons I like Hublot. When you buy it in the secondary market, you can get it for as much as 50% off the MSRP. A lot of other watch brands, you can't do that. So if you're buying it in the secondary market, like I recommend, you can get unbelievable watches at a fraction of the price. That's great for the first-time watch buyer. And when you look at Hublot, who's their customer? Their average customer is somewhere between 25 and 45. Somebody who likes art and likes vibrant colors, vibrant things. This watch is a perfect example. And Hublot does a great job of innovating both material with watches. All their watches have in-house movements, and I think they're great. Now, let's talk about some of their pieces. Here's an example of a watch that they've done some really cool innovations with. This is called the Hublot Bullet, is the nickname for it. It combined ceramic and metal to make a material called cremette, if I'm saying that correctly. It doesn't scratch, it's super scratch resistant. What's the number one thing people complain about wearing a nice expensive watch is that they don't want to scratch it. They get worried. Well, with these types of watches, you don't have to worry about it. They are great at combining that art and fusion with things like sapphire cases. They are one of the first to, in modern age, RM was credited with the first modern age ceramic case. Hublot is also putting out a ceramic case, super scratch resistant, and it's about 1/10 of the price as the RM. So you're getting all that value for a fraction of the price. Can't be beat, in my opinion. We can't go any further without talking about how in 2005, Hublot's Big Bang design won the best new design at the Grand Prix of horology. That proves that people who are in the know actually like Hublot. They think it's a great design. They think it's a great watch. So all those haters out there, just look back at 2005 and notice how Hublot won that award. You don't do that without being on the cutting edge of watch design. Now, Hublot really has two main lines I consider. The third is really where they put all their fun stuff. Obviously, you have the Big Bang lineup. Within the Big Bang lineup, you've got things like the Square Bang. You also have things like the Spirit of the Bang, the Integrated Materials Bang. So you've got some of those. And then you also have the Classic Fusion, which is what I consider more of their dressy lineup. So you've got those two. And then in the third part of Hublot, you've got all of their, what I call their experimental, fun, true art of fusion watches. Things like the Takahami Rainbow watches in there. They've got some tourbillons in there, things of that nature. So they have three main lineups. All of them are great. And the thing that I think Hublot does better than anybody is giving you options within their lineup. So yes, two major lines, but within that lineup, you've got millions of different options. Here's an example. You've got two of the Big Bangs, two different materials, one ceramic, one metal. Both of them are great watches, but they look the same as far as aesthetics, but they're two different materials. They're two different colors. Hublot gives you the ability to kind of build what you're looking for as far as material, feel of watch. You can wear a different watch every day of the week with your outfit. If you want a different outfit, you can change your watch to a different color. Hublot's done a really good job of combining that and making it an everyday watch that you can wear with anything. So that's why I believe Hublot is one of the best watches out there. So hopefully at this point, I've given you enough reasons to seriously consider your next watch purchase being a Hublot. If not, that's okay. Not every watch is for everybody. So until next time, Bob and I thank you for watching the channel, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.